Good afternoon to you all. I'm Ted Robertson with KRDO. I'm very honored to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for the El Paso County 2020 Veteran of the Year ceremony today. This award is very special to me. I'm the son of an Army major, and I raised a Marine. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, of course, we appreciate all of you wearing your masks today unless you're speaking, and would you also kindly do your best to maintain 6-foot distancing when you are with non-family members. Thank you very much for that. And to begin our ceremony today, Kevin Reinhold, the state chaplain for the Colorado Veterans of Foreign Wars, will provide the invocation. We invite you please to stand.
Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we come to you today in your holy name and to recognize our veterans that continue to serve in our communities. We ask for your blessings on our veterans that served and are still serving on the battlefields. As we praise you, Lord, for those in the military who gave of their lives, limbs, and minds in order that we could be here today. Let us not forget that when you came to earth, you came as a servant for us. You also told us to love one another, and by loving one another, we can help each other. Lord, continue to bless everyone here today and those that couldn't be here. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Kindly remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard.
Honor Guard. Or on. Forward. Mark. Ready. Hold. Right. Hey. Break. Set. On.
El Paso County Veteran Services Officer Marshall Bosworth will now lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Staff Sergeant Catherine Volkar from the 4th Infantry Division Band will now lead us in the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
Please join me now, if you would, in thanking the El Paso County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard and the 4th Infantry Division Band. And please be seated. We are very pleased to be joined today by a number of dignitaries. Kindly hold your applause, if you would, until all are introduced. Mark Waller, Chair of the El Paso County Board of County Commissioners. Lojinos Gonzalez, Jr., Vice Chair of the El Paso County Board of County Commissioners, also a member of the Colorado Board of Veterans Affairs. Stan Vanderwerf, El Paso County Board of County Commissioners. Cammie Bremer, El Paso County Board of County Commissioners. Holly Williams, also El Paso County Board of County Commissioners. Dan May, District Attorney, with us today as well. Amy Folson, El Paso County Administrator. Kenny Hodges, El Paso County Assistant County Administrator. David Colt Simmons with us today, Teller County Assessor. Andy Pico, Council Member for the City of Colorado Springs. Roger Lovell, Building Official, Pikes Peak Regional Building Department. Anthony Archer, Senior Military and Veterans Liaison for Congressman Doug Lamborn. Bob McLaughlin, Chief Operating Officer with Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center. And at this time, Chair Waller will provide the official welcome.
Thanks, Ted. Before I get into my official welcome, I just want to recognize and understand, this is not part of Ted's regularly scheduled activities. It's not how he earns a living. This is something done solely on a volunteer basis by him. We often ask members of the local media to participate in these events with us and to help us put on the absolute best show we possibly can. So if we could just say thank you and give a nice round of applause to Ted for volunteering this time today.
Thank you, Mark.
I want to thank everybody, all of you, for being here today. It would have been nice to do this at Bear Creek Park. That's where we have done it the last 3 years, but it might not have been quite as pleasant to do it out there as it is here in the auditorium. But thank you for being here and understanding what an important event this is for our community. El Paso County is home to over 100,000 veterans who've honorably served our country while protecting our freedoms, both here and abroad. And this led us to create the Veterans Monument that is in Bear Creek Regional Park, and we did that to honor the veterans in our community for their service. So again, it would be nice to be there today, but we're happy to have you here instead. But we've also established, when we did that Veterans Memorial, we established the Veteran of the Year Award because we believe our veterans deserve special recognition for their exemplary military career, outstanding community service, and their support for our active and military fellow veterans and their families. We certainly do have a very rich military heritage in our community. We greatly appreciate the veterans in our county and the sacrifices they've made. Whether it meant moving themselves and their families within the continental United States or serving abroad. Many of our veterans have returned and made El Paso County their home, and more importantly, made it a better place for all of us to live. Our veterans are involved in every aspect of our county and every aspect of our community. They run small businesses, they serve in elected office, they work in local government, they raise their families here, and they volunteer once again to make our community a better place to live and work. And we are very thankful and fortunate to have so many of them here living with us. Thank you again for being here, and thanks for participating.
Thank you, Chair Waller. We are also very fortunate to have a number of great community partners that are sponsoring today's ceremony. As I understand it, they could not be with us today, but they include the Broadmoor Hotel, Pikes Peak Regional Building Department, and USAA. Please join me in thanking those sponsors. And at this time, I'd like to ask Dwayne France, our 2019 Veteran of the Year recipient, to share his thoughts on the importance of veterans in our county.
Thank you. Thank you for the honor to be here today to recognize the representatives of the veteran community. Thank you to our county commissioners, city council members, elected officials, and community representatives. I remember once when I was in Afghanistan that I saw an amazing sight. My platoon and I had just completed a patrol to Fob Bostic, home of the celebrated 3rd Squadron, 61st Cavalry Regiment. I heard a commotion outside the tent, which is not necessarily a good thing when you're in a combat zone. And then I went outside and I saw everybody staring at the sky. And I turned and I looked up and I saw the most brilliant double rainbow that I have ever seen in my life, crystal clear. It stretched from mountaintop to mountaintop, and it would be as if it stretched from Pikes Peak to Cheyenne Mountain. Two things immediately came to mind. First, I was an idiot for not taking a picture. But second, it reminded me that wonderful things and beautiful things can happen even in the midst of chaos. And that's how I feel about today. In the midst of strife, a global pandemic, an economic downturn, and struggles coming at us from every direction, we're still able to come here today to recognize the accomplishments of veterans in our community. That's what we do in El Paso County. We persevere and we recognize the goodness in the midst of chaos. Like many veterans who chose to make El Paso County home, I love this community. Having spent 22 years in the military, El Paso County was the first place that my family and I decided that we wanted to settle down. Of course, the competition included Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Fort Polk, but this one was still a lot better and even better than most of the ones that I have ever been to. One of the reasons I love it here is the feeling of comfort and familiarity due to one of the unique characteristics that make up our community, and that's its strong military and veteran presence. I often collaborate and communicate at the national level regarding service member, veteran, and military family mental health. Whenever I do, I remind people where I'm from, and I remind people of the strong veteran presence in our community. I remind them that we are the only county in the nation with 5 military installations within its geographic boundaries. Whenever we get Starfleet Academy built on top of Cheyenne Mountain, it'll be 6, but for now it's only 5. I tell people, as the chairman mentioned, that we are home to over 100,000 veterans. Our veteran population, along with their spouses and children, and the over 40,000 service members assigned to our local military bases, likely make up over 50% of the members of our community. And these are not people that have some tangential connection to the military, like my grandfather served or a cousin served. These are hundreds of thousands of individuals who are familiar with the hardship and sacrifice that service in the military brings. Hundreds of thousands of our neighbors who understand what it is like to stand up, to serve, and to commit to something larger than themselves. Former service members are represented in our pulpits, in our businesses, in our government, and in our schools. While in other communities, you may have to search for a fellow veteran. In El Paso County, you usually only have to look right next door. And where you have a lot of veterans, a lot of things can be accomplished. Because you have men and women who have demonstrated the unwavering resolve to persevere in the face of chaos and hardship. As President Ronald Reagan said, above all, we must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in any arsenal in all the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. And the will and moral courage of veterans in El Paso County is definitely strong. Those of us who served in the military, we appreciate our creeds. The Marines have the Rifleman's Creed, the Army has the creed of the non-commissioned officer, and the Soldier's Creed. Each of the other services have their creeds. There are several similarities and quite a few differences, but one of the key connecting factors in all of them is each of them indicate an iron resolve to be, to do, to accomplish, the imperative of will. Starting with the oath of enlistment that every enlisted member of the armed forces takes, regardless of service. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. The oath of office that all commissioned officers take, that are required to recite upon commissioning, has this imperative as well, stating that they will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which they enter. There is no question and no gray area about what is going to happen. There's something admirable in this uncompromising will. This is the drive of sacrifice. This is the drive of service. This is the drive that is within each and every service member and continues even after we leave the service. This unwavering resolve is represented in the look of the veteran's eye whenever they begin to accomplish a task, and it is represented in each tear shed at the playing of taps. The iron resolve of will is represented in the salute of a World War II or Korean War veteran on Memorial Day. Each weathered hand and bent back knowing exactly what the cost of executing this will entails. And it is represented in the upraised hand of the newest recruit and commissioned officer who have yet to fully understand what this imperative entails. This indomitable will, this iron resolve, is as much a part of the legacy of military service as any treasured memento or loyalty to branch or unit. It is this legacy that continues in our community, strong and unwavering. Our community was founded by a veteran. Jackson Palmer served during the Civil War with the 15th Pennsylvania Cavalry, and it is his vision and unwavering resolve that we still live in with his legacy today. Names like William Crawford, Floyd Lindstrom, Ty Carter, Florent Groberg, Donald Stratton, astronaut James Irwin, Frank Macon, a member of the celebrated Tuskegee Airmen, each of them lived or served in our community. Each of them demonstrated the uncommon valor that is commonly found in veterans. Each of them, in their own way and across generations, demonstrated unwavering resolve. But this unwavering resolve does not only result in acts of heroism or name recognition. They say that the 20th century was built on the unwavering resolve of World War II veterans, that it produced scientists, Nobel laureates, and presidents. But when my grandfathers came back from World War II, one of them became a mechanic and the other one became a tailor. They built businesses and they built lives for them and their families, giving me a foundation to be able to do the same for my children and generations to follow. And that's what veterans do. We return from the military, we return from war, and we get to work. We take that indomitable will, that unwavering resolve, and we put it to good use. In the case of the honorees today, for the good use of the community and the veterans that they serve, and in the case of veterans that they represent, for the good of all of us. Other communities may boast larger numbers of veterans, but that's just a matter of population and geography. Here, veterans are everywhere, hiding in plain sight and using their unwavering resolve to build a better community, a stronger community, and a community that is welcoming to, and in today's case, honoring of, the service of those who served in the military. Thank you for the privilege of being able to share this day of recognition, and congratulations to all today's honorees.
Thank you, Dwayne. At this time, we'd like to introduce our 4 finalists for the 2020 Veteran of the Year Award. Vice Chair Gonzalez will present our first.
Thank you very much. Glenn, could you please join me up here? Glen Cooper is a U.S. Army veteran and has proudly served in Oklahoma, Alaska, Kansas, New York, Germany, Somalia, and Iraq. He retired from the Army in 2009 with 25 years of service. His service awards include the Combat Action Badge, Bronze Star with 1 Oak Leaf Cluster, Purple Heart, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and Army Achievement Medal. His military education includes the Primary Leadership Development Course, Basic Non-Commissioned Officers Course, and Advanced Non-Commissioned Officer Course. Glenn is currently completing a bachelor's degree in project management from Colorado Technical University. Glenn is a certified brain injury specialist with Craig Hospital Military Programs, Operation TBI Freedom. He also serves as a mentor for justice-involved veterans with the 4th Judicial District's Veterans Trauma Court. He also volunteers as a certified equine assisted learning instructor with the Warrior Remount Program, the River Deep Alliance, and has been elected 3 times as the commander for the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 423 for Southern Colorado. Glenn resides in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with his wife of 30 years, Paula, and their children.
Are there comments down here? trouble.
We're not paying them. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Gonzalez. And Glenn, congratulations to you. Commissioner Vanderwerf will now present our next finalist.
Thank you, Ted. And just a moment, a little bit, want to talk a little bit about, honoring veterans and honoring our active duty. So I wear this gaiter, and it's obviously in camouflage. And I wear it to honor our active duty and our veterans, but also today I wear it to honor our finalists for today's ceremony. And I think it's great that we do this and honor our veterans. I was wearing this gaiter on April 4 of 2010 when I was in Iraq. And I was in the Minister of Defense's office for the Iraqi Ministry of Defense at that particular time. 2 blocks away was the Iranian embassy. And when I was in that office giving a briefing presentation to the minister, 2 car bombs blew up the Iranian embassy at that time. The blast wave traveled through the air and hit the minister's glass, his windows. And I was wearing this gaiter at the time. That blew out the windows. All of us ducked to the floor, and I remember lying on the floor saying, this is why I get combat pay. So I wear this because it reminds me of my service, and in particular, some of the more difficult time periods that I went through. And every veteran has some kind of story that's similar to that, and it is so important that we honor those stories. So at this time, if I could invite Colonel Nanette Brédé Mueller to come forward. And I will read a little bit about Colonel Mueller's background and a little bit about her story. So Colonel Nanette Brédé Mueller is a difference maker, and seeing a need to empower the veteran community to better transition from uniform to civilian success, she established Prep Connect 360 8 years ago. This is a wonderful organization, and she has directly and positively impacted the quality of life for thousands of veterans working military, spouses, and family members in the Pikes Peak region and beyond. In uniform, Nanette found herself mobilized and deployed with chemical warfare gear in Washington, D.C. after the terrorist attacks of 9/11 as part of Operation Noble Eagle in the defense of the homeland. She led efforts building the defense of the nation's capital under the command of NORAD. And previous roles in uniform would see her in leadership roles, ensuring reliability and availability of the nation's strategic munition supplies to certifying and fielding ballistic missile defense operators throughout the continental United States under the command and control of NORTHCOM. She has directly led and mentored soldiers at the company level and was promoted to multiple strategic leadership roles at the corps level and above, with responsibility for policy development that continues to serve as the foundation today for national integrated air and missile defense. And in retirement, Nanette is a servant leader focusing direct assistance and legislation that is helpful to our military, veterans, spouses, survivors, and their families. All of her efforts are purely voluntary, to include her role launching and leading Prep Connect 360, a rigorous, community-supported, week-long seminar taught in conjunction with the Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center and the Pikes Peak Workforce Center. Since its inception in 2012, Prep Connect 360 has produced 780 better-prepared graduates, facilitating their strong transition into the civilian workforce, a very important role, and ensuring thriving families all contribute to the rich economy of our region. Nanette's volunteer service to the veteran community includes national involvement in legislative issues, career transition, and spouse employment, and work with the Veterans Community Living Center in the Pikes Peak region. She served on the local and national Military Officers Association of America boards of directors and is an award-winning volunteer with the Employer Support of Guard and Reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, may I congratulate Nanette Brédé Mueller as one of our finalists. Great job.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Vanderwerf, and Nanette, congratulations to you. Commissioner Bremer, would you kindly present our next finalist?
Thank you, Ted. Jim, if you would like to join me up here. Jim Reid. Jim Reid is a 20-year veteran of the United States Air Force and was stationed in Arizona, California, Colorado, Germany, Korea, and Kuwait. Jim received numerous meritorious service and achievement awards during his military career. While in the Air Force, Jim was involved with 2 terrorist bombings on Ramstein and Rhein-Main air bases in Germany. I should say he was involved with the response to those terrorist bombings. He was also involved with the return of the Iranian hostages, the Loma Prieta earthquake, and multiple fires and plane crashes. Jim has an associate in applied science in fire science and personnel administration, a Bachelor of Science degree in organizational management, and is a graduate of the Colorado Peace Officer Safety Training and the National Fire Academy Executive Fire Officers Program. After retiring from the Air Force, Jim served as fire marshal for the town of Monument and deputy fire marshal for El Paso County. Jim served in leadership roles in both the Waldo Canyon and Black Forest fires. In 2013, Jim accepted the position of Executive Director of the El Paso County Department of Public Works. The position included overseeing engineering, fleet, facilities, and road divisions. In 2019, Jim was appointed the Director of the Pikes Peak Office of Emergency Management, which combined the city's and county's emergency management resources. Jim has been instrumental in our region's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. This included the formation of a unified command structure that leveraged the resources of El Paso County Public Health and Pikes Peak Regional Office of Emergency Management to coordinate our ongoing efforts. Jim is currently a member of the Cowhand VFW and volunteers with the Young Marines, a veteran-led community-based program that provides mentorship and engagement for our community youth ages 8 to 18. Jim is married to the former Jeanette Whitney and has 2 sons, Joshua and Jeremy. Congratulations, Jim.
All right, figure it out. Okay. For the record, I'm smiling. Yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the very fast-moving Commissioner Bremer. And Jim, congratulations to you. Commissioner Williams, would you kindly present our final finalist?
Trujillo. Martin Trujillo enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in 1987. Over his 30-year military career, Martin obtained the rank of Master Gunnery Sergeant, serving as the Senior Enlisted Operations Advisor for the Marine Forces Pacific. His tours of duty included Virginia, Yugoslavia, Chile, Russia, Venezuela, and North Korea. His awards include the Legion of Merit, 2 Bronze Stars, and numerous achievement awards. Martin holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice administration and is obtaining a master's degree in global management. He is currently attending the University of Colorado at Colorado Springs to attain a graduate certificate on program evaluations, grant management, and grant writing. Martin volunteers with Colorado Parks and Wildlife as a hunter education instructor and has taught 600 students over 17 classes. Martin also volunteered over 180 hours for wildlife management and hunter outreach. Martin also served as the volunteer program manager for the Freedom Hunters and Warriors Heroes Outdoors program, which included managing, recruiting, and implementing an archery program to thank veterans and first responders for their service. Martin participates in the El Pomar Emerging Leaders Program and is a co-chair for the Hispanic Advisory Committee. Martin also participated in the Leadership Pikes Peak Signature Class 2020, the Leadership Pikes Peak Steering Committee, the El Pomar Milton E. Proby Selection Committee, and a planning commissioner for the town of Monument. Martin is currently employed at the Office of the Sheriff Building and is refining their quartermaster system. Martin is happily married to Sarah. All right, that's it. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. I feel it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams, and Martin, congratulations to you. I'd now like to ask Chairman Waller to present the 2020 Veteran of the Year Award.
All right, before I get to that, you know, this is always an incredibly difficult decision for us to make. I mean, obviously, you've heard the resumes and accomplishments of all of the nominees here today. Certainly an incredibly difficult decision anytime that we pick a Veteran of the Year. So before I get to that, why don't we give everybody, all of the nominees, a big round of applause. But even as difficult as it was, we were able to get it down to just one person. So ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present the El Paso County's 2020 Veteran of the Year Award to Nanette Brédé Mueller. Congratulations, Colonel Mueller. All right, let's do a picture, and then we'll let you say a few words.
To do this?
Yes, congratulations. We can hug, we can do whatever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a picture.
Okay.
Yep, let's all go do this. Let's all come in.
In front? In front, definitely. Great. You want to come up?
Yeah, I'll come. Yep, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, we're all smiling. You can't tell.
Wow, thank you. Whew, thank you. The best part is I can take the mask off. Wow, elected officials, friends, volunteers, coworkers, El Paso County community, oh my gosh, honored guests, thank you all for being here today. And thank you very much for the very kind introductions from all of you. What an honor to be selected as the El Paso County Veteran of the Year for 2020. Thank you so very much. As Dwayne kind of alluded to, we are the Mecca of veterans in this community. El Paso County is the third largest congressional voting district for veteran population in the nation. And so that makes this an absolutely amazing honor. As always, the competition was so strong. Did you hear their resumes? Oh my gosh, they're fabulous. And what they do, their contributions for this community are incredibly remarkable. So when veterans hang up their uniforms, they never stop serving. That is one of those facts that I've figured out when we interview our students during Prep Connect 360. They still continue to have a heart for service. Since retiring from the uniformed service, I've continued to focus on veterans' issues and initiatives, specifically guiding our veterans as they transition from uniformed service to contributing members of our civilian workforce. There are so many stories. One of the most poignant is about an airman who was a single mother of 3 young children. Through no fault of her own, she was forced to decide between what was best for her family or serving our nation. She chose her family. When I first met Carla, she had just left the Air Force and was struggling. Highly educated and well-trained, Carla had a degree and certifications. But outside of the military initially, she had no plan, or no vector, as our airmen would say. She encountered a common difficulty related to professional licensure in between states, and in time she was inspired to launch her own business. Her family highly regarded the trades that are the backbone of our nation. So it was no surprise Carla went on to become CEO and founder of Riveter Enterprises, a design-build construction firm with a social enterprise effort mentoring women into high-paying construction careers. It takes a community to help a veteran succeed in their transition into the civilian workforce. I'm proud of how this community helped Carla and so many other veterans and working military spouses with a hand up to succeed. We are blessed to have so many amazing organizations and nonprofits here in El Paso County helping our veterans and their families. Let me highlight just a few. Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center has impacted over 34,000 veterans, family members, and spouses since its inception in 2016. The Homefront Military Network has helped over 12,000 veterans and family members. The Pikes Peak Workforce Center, which provides priority of service to veterans and incredible support to their working-age families seeking employment. And the El Paso County Veterans Service Center, with their veteran service officers helping thousands of veterans access benefits. There are so many, many other veterans organizations and nonprofits here we are so fortunate to have in our community, all of them helping. So those are the big names. Then there's this little small program called Prep Connect 360 that's been around since 2012. We prepare transitioning veterans and career-minded spouses to successfully enter our civilian workforce. Every class, we connect and partner with more than 50 employers and community organizations. Every class, many of whom graciously allow our graduates, whom they have hired, to pay it forward and mentor currently transitioning veterans. I would name them all if I had the time, but I don't think you want me to. So I'm very grateful to all of them. Finally, a huge thank you to my small but mighty volunteer and support team. Mark Lillevision, Paul Price, Denise Kaiser, Dean Miller, Becky Roberts, John Dix, Bob Landry, Mark Schuster, Paul Dunbar, and there are many others. And to my parents and sisters for their strength and support. Many of you seated here today have personal experience, authority, and networks that have successfully employed many of our veterans. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. It does take a community. And thank you once again for your vote of confidence and continued support.
Nanette, a very special congratulations to you. And this paver is going to be installed at the Veterans Monument to acknowledge your having won this award, and deservedly so.
Thank you so much. Now you can walk all over me, right? Thank you. That is awesome.
Before you go today, we're going to have a benediction, but after the benediction, I want to share two very quick notes with you. First, we'd like to invite you to stay standing, if you would please, for the benediction. Kevin Reinhold will deliver that for you.
Well, thank each of you for what you do and the honor that you received today, and may God bless you as you go forward in your works. We bow our heads. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and bring gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Father, as we depart today, let each of us have the understanding of being that servant to each other, serving one another to your glory. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our 2020 Veteran of the Year Award presentation. Due to COVID-19 concerns, of course, we're not able to provide the normal buffet. However, you are invited to pick up a box lunch in the lobby. Thank you again for attending, and before you go, if you would like to have your parking ticket validated, simply write the word Veterans Ceremony on that ticket. And we would appreciate if the Board of County Commissioners and Nanette, I was going to ask you to join us for a photo, but you've already done that. And Tim, you asked me not to say that, so I didn't. Enjoy your day.